This episode of Unqualified is brought to you by McDonald's, proudly serving communities since 1965. On the drive to and from my parents' house in Washington State, we almost always stop at two particular McDonald's, one in Salem, Oregon, and another in Eureka, California. At the moment, we are in the parking lot of the Salem location, and I just finished a Big Mac and fries. Even though we are just passing through, I appreciate the familiarity and feeling of community. The other day, I was looking through my mother-in-law's photo album and came across a photo where she and her friends are standing in front of a McDonald's wearing their cheerleading uniforms. I usually call my mother-in-law New Mom, but her name is Marcia. Under the photo, Marcia had written a note, and I talked her into letting me read it here. San Bernardino, California. I have so many memories of this McDonald's over the years. My father took me there on what I think was opening day. What a thrill it was as a young girl to order a chocolate shake, hamburger, and French fries. Then there was the time when my cousin Hinda and I were given a tour and allowed to take dill pickles by the cupful out of a huge barrel. We must have eaten 100 pickles each. Everyone in my family knows the story of how I accidentally missed the ketchup container and dipped a fry into my milkshake. Now when I dip fries in my shake, it's on purpose. I remember when I was 12 years old, my mother and my cousin Noel Novak, Larry's brother, picked me up from dance class, and we went for dinner to celebrate Noel's graduation from high school. Years later, when I was in high school, we would go to McDonald's every Friday night after the football game. I wish you could see this photo. Marcia couldn't remember if they won the game that night, but everyone is smiling as if they did. Wherever your local McDonald's is, there's nothing better than that wonderful feeling of community. Well, maybe that feeling is tied with eating a Big Mac. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
What are your favorites?
Like Rich Roll, Tim Ferriss.
Yeah, he's great.
I listen to like the self-help ones. So
Yeah.
I feel like that, like when I'm driving around singing traffic, I'm like improving myself. Yeah.
Which one did you listen to?
I listened to the Isla Fisher and Sharon Stone.
Oh, cool. Yeah, Sharon
and I
is
only
great.
listened to like the first 20 of Sharon, and then I listened to like the last 20 of Isla.
Isla.
Butchering her name. But so I saw that. Excuse me, whoa.
Oh, yeah, Kelly Rohrbach.
Do I do this?
Baby,
Yeah.
yeah.
There you go. Now it's official. The headphones are on.
Sexy.
It feels great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know what's awesome about the podcast is that it's just long format, so you actually get to talk to people, and we don't have any rules on this one either.
None.
So you. Can,
Well, I heard there's a call. I'm actually quite looking forward to
We're
it. Like an
gonna
old
talk to-
school
yeah.
call-in, like in you know, you just
Yeah.
listen to the
We're gonna
radio,
give
like going to
advice.
school in the morning. There'd be like a call-in. Like that's a great idea for a
really
podcast.
fun.
There should be a podcast of just call-ins.
That's half the show, though, for this one.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
shit. Okay, awesome.
We're going to give advice to two listeners that actually need relationship or friendship advice. It's actually a lot of fun.
I love that. Like we have a caller from Missouri who is what?
Totally.
Like, I
Yeah.
love that.
So wait, okay, you've got a huge movie coming out.
I do.
Which
Thank
is,
you. Thanks.
Yeah, and it's called Baywatch.
It is.
I don't know. That's what I heard. You guys are watching that Los Angeles Bay like hawks.
Indeed, we are. I do. Yeah, they are making a movie, Baywatch, and it is actually awesome. It's really good. I
I'm
saw it like
so
2 weeks
excited
ago, and it's
for it.
very funny. I was a big fan of the
Oh,
show growing
good.
up, so I was did not want it to be butchered, and it will exceed all your expectations. It's
I
awesome.
love that.
Yeah, it's
Isn't
actually
that great?
awesome.
So what do? They just adapted it and made it kind of comedic and
Yeah,
and they,
exactly.
And
They-
what an amazing cast, by the way. So
Yeah.
there's The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Who else? Zac Efron,
Priyanka Chopra,
Priyanka Chopra.
Alex Daddario,
Wow.
John Bass.
You've been doing a lot of press for it.
Actually, we start tomorrow. We go
Oh,
to
you
Miami
do
for
like
our
junket in
Yep.
Miami. Oh my God, how
Exactly.
fun!
Yeah, I've never done one of
What
that
do you
before.
think?
And
What's
then-
the question that's gonna make you crazy? That's you're gonna get over and over again? Is it gonna be something about like the iconic swimsuit, or learning how to surf or swim, or you guys don't have to surf?
I get
Although
a
that
lot
would
of
be kind
the.
an
Did you
awesome-
feel pressure that this role is so iconic with Pam Anderson? And how do you feel about Pam? Like all these things. I'm like, I had not really.
Did you get Pam's blessing?
Yeah, a lot of that. Yeah. So
Oh, that's gotta be kind of
I'm
annoying.
gonna take my shoes off. Is that okay?
Yeah, please. So do you live here now in Los Angeles?
I do. Yeah.
Do you like, because you grew up on the East Coast?
I did. Yes. Sorry, I'm gonna turn my phone off too. I think it's there.
Do you like Los Angeles?
I love Los Angeles.
You do? What do you love about
I love it? I just love California. Like sunshine, 85 and sunny every day. Like, yes, please.
Have you found like a community? You don't have to tell us where you live, but like that you love? Because that was always the hard thing when I first moved here. I moved to several different neighborhoods until I sort of found kind of something that fit me a little bit better. I don't know. Have you found that?
Not really living wise. Like where I live is it's super central, and so that makes it easy to get around. But no, I don't live in like an area that's like, you know, like an Echo Park. You feel like you could
Right.
like walk into your local coffee shop and like see everyone you know. Like I don't
Yeah.
really have that, but I don't mind. I mean, I have kind of friends all over, and I live with my sister, and she's my best friend.
Oh,
so we're
that's
like.
nice.
Yeah, I think as long as you have like your person in LA, you're good. You just
Yeah.
need, whether it's a boyfriend or a family member or a best friend, like you just need one person who's your
This episode of Unqualified is brought to you in part by ZocDoc. Who gets excited about trying a new restaurant that has 2 out of 5 stars? When it comes to finding healthcare, don't ratings matter even more? ZocDoc is a free app where you can compare doctors, read reviews from real patients, and even make same-day appointments. When I finally called to reschedule my dentist appointment, I was told that my dentist had been retired for nearly 3 years. In my defense, parking was a nightmare. Through ZocDoc, I found a new dentist who had great reviews, took my insurance, and whose office was actually within walking distance. I was also able to book an appointment instantly without talking to a receptionist who made me feel guilty about not having my teeth cleaned for 3 years. My new dentist didn't make me feel guilty either, and only suggested I floss a little more often. Whether you need a primary care physician, dentist, dermatologist, psychiatrist, eye doctor, or other specialist, ZocDoc makes healthcare easy. Now is the time to prioritize your health. Go to ZocDoc.com/unqualified and download the ZocDoc app. Sign up for free and book a top-rated doctor who might be available as soon as today. That's ZocDoc.com/unqualified. This episode of Unqualified is brought to you in part by Warby Parker. Warby Parker was founded with a rebellious spirit and the lofty goal of creating boutique quality eyewear at a revolutionary price point. Sunglasses, with or without a prescription, start at $95 and, just like eyeglasses, are available through their home try-on program. You just choose 5 pairs and see which ones you like. I was surprised by how quickly they arrived, which presented me with the immediate problem of deciding which ones to keep. I loved all of them, so you can guess what happened. And not only can you feel good about how cool you look, you can also feel good knowing that for every pair of glasses sold, Warby Parker distributes a pair of glasses to someone in need through partnerships with nonprofits like Vision Spring. Offering eyeglasses, sunglasses, contact lenses, and eye exams, Warby Parker is committed to providing exceptional vision care online and in stores. So put your FSA or HSA dollars to good use on Warby Parker prescription glasses, prescription sunglasses, contact lenses, and eye exams. Try Warby Parker's free home try-on program. Order 5 pairs of glasses to try at home for free for 5 days. There's no obligation to buy. Ships free and includes a prepaid return shipping label. Try 5 pairs of glasses at home for free at warbyparker.com/unqualified. That's WARBY parker.com/unqualified.
Where did you guys shoot Baywatch?
We actually shot it in Savannah, Georgia, which is really random and not where you would think of Baywatch. But there's a small beach off the coast of Georgia called Tybee Island.
Is it so beautiful?
It's
Oh, you're like, oh, it is stunning.
no, it's not. It's
yeah. Gotcha.
It's nice. But you know what? It's a beach. I mean, a beach is a beach is a beach is a beach. I mean, there are ones that are nicer than others,
Savannah's
but this one, I mean, I'll take a beach any day.
Isn't Savannah getting like Austin hip now?
Yeah,
That's
it's
what I
super
hear.
cool. I went to school in Georgetown. It reminded me a lot of like those cobblestone streets and the townhouses. Like it's kind of has that old Southern feel, like the big moss trees. It's beautiful. I actually loved it.
Ghosts?
I think so, because someone really close to me had a ghost experience, and that person, I believe that person.
Really?
Yeah.
Like a ghost that they knew?
No, like a spirit that lived in their house, and they would see like a green light flashes.
Huh.
Yeah. Do you believe in ghosts?
Not really.
No.
I'm not really. I like the idea of them.
Like I don't think
like
they're
a
the way
white
that they're
sheet
portrayed.
floats around.
Yeah, no, and I don't think they're the way that they're portrayed in movies where it's like the face of that person, like just like but white. I think like there can be like a spooky or a haunted energy.
I'm intrigued by people who are really ghosty.
But there are people who are like, oh my God, ghosts for real.
The reason why I brought it up is because I feel like a lot of the South, you know, it has like the
you can go on like a ghost
there's
tour.
a lot of
Should've
like
done that.
yeah. There's a lot of like you know, and it lends itself to it with those big beautiful oak trees and the history and everything. But we we talk about the idea. I like the idea of playing a character who believes that like her Oakwood apartment is haunted by ghosts, or like because you know the part of the silliness of haunted shit is that it has to be like over a certain age.
Totally. She's like living in a new modern
And usually
all glass
rich.
stainless steel, and she's like, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
It's the ghosts of the workers that built this house.
Yes.
But they're still alive. I know, but they're just bitter about how long it took.
Completely. Yeah. I don't know. So that I'm intrigued by all different kinds of people. And so I have a podcast.
No, I'm not a ghosty person. I'm not like one of those people who's like gung-ho on ghosts and astrology signs and all that. But I do.
What kind of freaks you out? Do you have anything that freaks you out?
Just sharks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have a terrible fear of sharks.
Oh my God.
This bums me out because I love the ocean and I love the beach, and like just when it comes to going in it,
Do you have that feeling like what if you're in a lake but you can't see the bottom? Like, do you get freaked out by like the unknown? I do too.
Lakes is a little better because I know that sharks can't be in there. But then, have you seen Lake Placid? Just saying.
You're right. There's a lake that we go to up in Washington State where, and it's this big, beautiful, like incredibly deep, cold lake up in the mountains. But there's tons of old, like fallen trees and root structures.
Oh, cool.
So if you're swimming, it looks like you're swimming over these like massive, like snaky, almost like wooden eels. It's a really eerie feeling. You're like, you're gonna drown and you're gonna get caught, like your necklace is gonna get caught on one of those like roots, and you're just gonna be staring up at the icy, I don't know, this is fucking
I'm still thinking about Lake Placid. I haven't even thought about the necklace getting caught yet. Shit, Anna, come on.
I know. Okay, so we're gonna do deal breakers.
Okay.
This, you have to imagine you're single. I don't know if you are. He says he wants to take you for a round of golf, and he takes you miniature golfing.
Well, I'm a golfer, so I'd be kind of like, a miniature golfing is fun. I actually liked miniature golf; it's pretty fun. But I'd be like, can we play for real?
Yeah, I mean, we thought like the idea that he thought that maybe a round of golf was
the miniature golf. Got it.
Which is still the same thing.
Then I'd be like, you know what? Why not?
Really?
Yeah, whatever. Who cares? If it's fun.
And then you totally school him. You just said that's
Jinx Pepsi-Cola.
Okay. He changed his name to Ansel Adams.
From what?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's go with Greg Smith.
Well, changing her name to like be cool is kind of uncool. So that would make him kind of uncool. But Ansel Adams is a great photographer and that's actually a great name. I never thought of Ansel Adams. That's a photographer, right?
Yeah.
I never thought of it as like, it's a great name.
He probably changed it.
Yeah.
That old Ansel.
Ansel.
Because it's
so uncool of you, Ansel.
He did a ton of mountainous photography. He wanted mountains in his name.
That's, yeah.
Huh. Ansel, we got you figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So changing the name, not cool, but Ansel Adams is such a cool name. So I don't know. It would have to sort of depend. We'll see if he's cool on the day.
I always set these up to fail in my head.
No, yeah, totally. But I think you should have chosen.
Yeah, what
your mistake?
Yes,
was that like
cool.
you should have changed it to like River Phoenix, Whisper, Willow.
Whisper Willow.
I'd be like,
you're like
also a really good name.
I can't wait to bone Whisper Willow.
Like, give it to me, Whisper. Give it to me.
Yeah. What's up? My name? Yeah, I'm Whisper.
Hey, Whisper. Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
sorry, you were whispering. Did you say Whisper?
Yeah, that's right. I'm Whisper. Okay. He says he wants you. He says he wants to take you to the symphony.
Ooh, what's a symphony? Oh God! I'm sorry. I'm too inquisitive on these questions. I just
That's good. You can ask
like,
questions.
no,
go
everything.
ahead.
Okay, a symphony sounds cool. And any activity, anytime that they have an activity, that's just.
It's just the symphony, but he pronounces it symphony.
Oh, got it. Like,
I mean,
like want to go to the buffet and they call it the buffet. Got it.
He's in love with you.
I've done that.
And he's like, I cannot wait to take you to the symphony. I can't. You have to say it. Say symphony. It is so fun to say.
Now I'm like, wait, how do you spell symphony again?
Yeah.
It's not with the Z. Obviously, it's an S.
Symphony.
But he's saying it. But he's like, he's like trying to be all French and like saying symphony.
No, he just thinks that's how it's. He thinks it's a Z.
I'd be like, ooh, yeah, that's a deal breaker.
Yeah,
Nothing's a deal breaker.
No, I
if
know.
like someone's fun and like who cares?
I know. Would that be something you would giggle to, like with your friends?
I'd be like, what did you? I would say to his face, I'd be like, what do you think it is?
The symphony.
And then I would make him explain his thought process, and I'd be like, where did you see the Z?
No, it's the symphony. It's it's a group of musicians. They play classical music.
Like a symphony?
The symphony.
Do you think it's with a Z?
It's the symphony.
This guy's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I love classical music.
Let's go to the symphony. Cool. Pick me up.
Symphony. It is really fun.
It's amazing.
I like it.
I don't think I can go back to symphony. They really shit the bed on that. They should call it symphony. I think more people would go if it was symphony.
There are not enough C words.
The PR company of symphonies need an upgrade.
It could, we could have spelled it with an X. There aren't that many X words.
true.
Right.
You learn that when you have
Symphony.
a toddler, especially because they have all the
X-ray.
ABC
There's only
books.
X-ray.
Yeah, it's X-ray or xylophone.
Xylophone. Yeah.
That's
Which
advanced.
X is, I mean, it's a useless letter a little bit.
Well, no, it's not.
But most cars have an X in it for the sex factor because you guys are idiots. That's why.
You remember this?
Is that what it is?
You
They put
remember
an
this.
X
Yeah.
like BMW
You guys are fucking idiots.
X5. X is for the sex?
Yeah, X is so the men buy it. That's my theory. And I'm sticking to
It's the most ridiculous theory ever.
Oh my God. Why the fuck would there be that many cars with X or S in
Is this
them?
a theory?
This is my theory. Oh. And I stand by it.
I believe in theories. Theories are true, like personal theories.
Don't believe in ghosts, but I got a lot of fucking theories.
I have a couple myself.
All right, lay one on me.
Well, I have a really dumb one.
Oh, I love it.
Okay. So, back on the East, when I went back to the East Coast, I'd been living out here for like a couple of years, and I went back to the East Coast, and I noticed that the squirrels were getting fatter, just like in general around Connecticut and New York City, like squirrels are getting fatter, just from like what I remember in childhood, or maybe that they're thinner out here, and so when it came back, the difference, whatever. But I think that squirrels are getting fatter because it's so warm out because of global warming that they're not hibernating, so they're just eating through the winter instead of going into that zone of starvation.
You could very well be right.
I like it. I think it works.
It works, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I was just in London and there were wild parrots. And apparently they stay there all year round now. Anyway, green parrots, very squawky. We get them here too.
I've seen a couple actually.
Yeah. I like that theory.
It's not that advanced. It's not.
No, but
It's-
listen,
but it's a personal theory.
the argument we have to make to Congress now is, do we want fat squirrels? We're trying to fight.
Everyone's out there with their
obesity.
climate change is happening, all that. I'm just out there like,
starts here, man.
these
It
squirrels are
starts
too
right
fat.
Here. It starts in my
put the
fucking-
squirrels on a diet. Stop global
Yeah.
warming.
I love it that you found your cause.
Yeah.
It took me a while, but I'm trying to eliminate any S's or X's from any car model.
Ooh.
Because I believe that it's too misogynistic.
Well, you get out there with your sign.
buying the cars now.
We're like at a women's rally. You're out there with like no X on cars. I'm out there like starve the squirrels. They're like, Miss, you guys are at the wrong rally. I'm like, oh, I thought it was just bring BYOS, bring any old sign.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so we were going to try something new here, which is
All right, a new segment.
called First Time, and you can pass on any of these, but if you want to talk about them, you can. Your first kiss,
School dance,
nice,
7th grade.
nice.
He had braces, I had braces, and we were like dating. You know how like you do sort of aim when we were younger. We do like aim dating. Like you like I went to an all girls school and he went to a boys school. So there's a lot of like you'd see each other like once a month at a dance, and there'd be like lots of aim chatting in between them, and then you see each other at the next dance. So like
Oh, AIM meaning
aim, AIM.
yeah,
Remember
okay.
that?
Yeah,
No.
AOL,
Oh, you don't have
AOL Instant
AIM?
Messenger,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yes, that was popular for a while, I think, right?
Yeah, when I was like 12 to 18.
Right.
You never aimed?
Never aimed.
Oh, it's amazing.
Missed the aimed.
It was so fun.
It was texting before there was real texting.
exactly.
That must have been really, really fun.
It
That
was,
must have
but it was
felt like
much
you're
quicker
in on
because
it.
you know how like when you text someone from your computer when you do that iMessage, like you can
Yeah.
bang stuff out so much quicker. It was like that, but back and forth, hours on AIM. I mean, I was born in 1990, so anybody in that realm knows AIM. Like you would get home from school and you'd be on AIM till like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
We just used to talk on the phone and annoy the shit out of our moms, I think, or like siblings. That was
That was way
always
too
the fight
advanced.
over
Like
the phone.
for talking on the phone was more high school. Middle school, you would never talk on the phone.
Yeah, I guess that I don't remember a ton. I don't remember anything. though.
Would like a guy call your house and be like, "Hey, I want to talk
No
to
guys
Anna"?
were calling my house.
Oh, okay, cool.
I was calling guys and then like hanging up. You know what I would do? I would be so desperate for like a guy that I was crushing on to call me. So desperate, my heart would ache. So I would take the phone out of the cradle so it would just be a busy signal because I couldn't deal with the idea that he wasn't going to call.
But wouldn't that drive
So
you
I was,
crazy
like,
about like what
proactive.
if he did call and you couldn't get to it, but you knew in
I
your
knew
heart
in my
he was
gut
not
somewhere. Yeah. So it was like a preemptive move on my part to like protect my heart.
That's
and my
so
feelings.
sad.
It is really
And
sad.
come on,
It's sad, but
Beautiful
it's true.
girl. They were calling. That's probably they were calling. It's just the phone was off the hook.
I really don't think they were calling. I think I knew what I was doing. And then my mom would be like, "Why the fuck is the phone off the hook again?" Like, just no reason, Mom.
Protecting my heart, Mom.
Yeah, I'm protecting
my heart.
Your first Hollywood audition.
A JCPenney commercial, which I booked,
Nice.
and then that's why I was like, okay,
Oh, cool.
This is easy, and then realized it was not. After that, it was a little bit of dry for a minute.
Was it a speaking role in JCPenney?
No, I was just dancing. It was a back to school commercial.
Nice.
I had on the dorkiest shirt. Oh my god, I looked so nerdy, and I had to like carry a backpack and be like, back to school for $9.99. They like, but we had lines, but we didn't really.
Right.
It's like,
yay.
yes, exactly, exactly.
Library.
And like, laugh with your friends in the hallway. Yeah. Tell her you like her shirt. I love your shirt.
Fucking bitches.
But then,
I wish that was the undercurrent. That's what I imagined.
Reenact a real high school scene.
Okay, first time someone asked you for your autograph? I guess people don't ask for autographs anymore,
Yeah,
though.
I don't think that's happening.
They ask for selfies,
Yeah, they
right?
ask for a
That's what-
picture.
yeah.
Recently, like a week or two ago in CVS, but she only knew me because she was a golfer and her brother was a golfer and her brother followed me because of golf.
That's awesome.
Which I thought was actually kind of cool. I was actually
Yes.
like, that's
That's
a
a
good first
good-
one,
yeah,
right? She was like, you're that
completely.
golfer girl. And I was like, I'm happy to be the golfer girl. No problem. That would be lovely.
That's a really good one because you'll get the other stuff for like the rest of your life. It's awesome that
She was like, my brother loves you because you
recognition for that.
golf. I was like, oh, well, tell your brother I say, hey, call me.
I have this indie movie that I did, and every once in a while somebody will bring that up, like as opposed to something else I've done, and it just makes me so
Smiley face, right?
Yeah, it just makes me so happy that I have like that rare. It feels like a nice bond
Totally.
with somebody.
Do you know why I love you?
Why?
The Hot Chick.
The boys
That is my
Boys Are
favorite
and liars
movie.
There's such a big mistake.
Jessica. All they want to do is get to second baseball. Baseball, he thinks he's gonna score. If you let him go all the way, you will be.
Horticulture study flowers.
Geologists study rocks. The only thing he wants from you is a place to put his cockroaches.
Wow.
In case Anna and I sound the same, that was me singing the majority of that song.
On a completely, you didn't remember. You forgot most of it. Yeah.
I did, but
You're like, I wasn't even in that movie. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
yeah, but I can't remember. Is there like one after
Beatles.
Cockroaches Beatles? No, maybe not. I think we drift off then. The writers were tapped out.
No, then she goes, oh, it is you. I love how I know all this. That was like my sister's and my favorite movie growing up.
We had
They were like,
fun.
who is like the celebrity you most want to meet? I'm like, Rob Schneider.
I love it. That movie has had such a nice life, and
It's a little there's a cult thing to it. Like people who love it love it.
Yeah.
I'm on the love it side.
No, but that was really fun because I personally had a pretty like averagely miserable high school experience, and so getting to do a movie like that where we're recreating high school, and I'm working with these actresses that I adore. It was really, really fun to be like, oh yeah, and we had to weirdly go to cheer camp for the cheerleading scenes.
I guess so. Yeah.
You wouldn't necessarily know how much work we put into it, but it was. I don't know if it was fun. It gave me a new appreciation for cheerleading, and it also was really hard work. And I'm incredibly uncoordinated and terrified because you have to do all like. I had to be like the climby one who has to jump into some.
Oh, you were in the top of the pyramid?
Who was in the mascot? I thought no.
He was in the
Rob
mascot,
Yeah.
but I do a thing. It's just a little thing, I think, where I jump and then I have to land into some. Like we do it simultaneously, where like the girls like get launched and then you fall like with your legs.
Yes,
out.
I remember this. Okay, now it's coming
Anyway,
back to me.
that
I'm
was
like,
scary
were
to
you
me.
in Bring It On as well? Am I sorry? Sorry, am I confusing?
No, just the lower end cheerleading movies.
They saw you in Hot Chick. Like she can't be in Bring It On. No.
Oh, for a celebrity, have you ever embarrassed yourself in front of a celebrity? This wasn't phrased very politely. I've done it many, many times. I do it on almost a
Like
daily
on
basis.
set, I guess. Like set celebrities or sets.
I met Meryl Streep, and I
Merle?
Merle. Hey, Merle, Merle, you're good, Merle.
Yo, Merle, get over here. Yo, Merle, get over here. Oh my God.
Merle. But I shook her hand, and she was wearing this gold, like I don't know if lame is the right word, but I did that.
What
weird,
is lame, anyways?
Well, it felt like
that a bracelet type or
no, I
something?
think it's like a fabric that
I don't
was
know.
very easily snagged because I awkwardly shook her hand, and I remember like my finger was not latched in like properly. Like it was like a claw-like shake on my end, and then my bracelet or ring caught on her dress and pulled out this big snag, and it was so mortifying.
Oh no.
It was at the fucking Oscars.
Wait, what is it again?
Oh,
you
Merle,
pulled it
I
off?
snagged your
I was
dress.
like, oh God, I'm
Merle,
sorry.
no,
like,
no,
and
no.
I had to unsnag myself, and she's like, who the fuck is this person? I mean, of course she wasn't, but it was.
You're like, it was the best snag of my life.
Yeah, it was fumbly and awkward. But I've had a lot of those, I feel like, experiences where either like I feel like I put my foot in my mouth, or I'll say somebody's like the wrong work
Right.
of body. That's mortifying.
That's why I never do it.
Work of body? Like I just said that. Wow. We're doing 3 podcasts.
I know. No, well, actually 4 if you count the call we had.
I know.
This has been a big
You're
day.
going to get the
Call in
loopiest of
for
loopy.
No, we had
No, I know
we
that you guys
called-
had the people calling in, but can people do a podcast by calling in? Like if I wasn't in LA, could I have called in for this?
Yeah.
I would have never to miss the opportunity of using this mic and
No,
circle thing,
normally
which I've
we've
always
never
wanted to
really
do.
done that. We did that with Andy Cohen because he was in New York.
What's the first car you ever had?
A car that my parents drove, but like I never.
No, the
it wasn't
first car
mine.
you owned.
That I owned was the first car that I bought from working money.
Nice.
Yeah, which is an Audi.
That's good.
It's like the most boring car. My brother's like, really? That's what you're gonna go for, like an Audi Q5, like a
Audi's-
mom car? I was like,
No,
I was like,
Audi
this,
Q5 is
I
fucking sexy.
right? Yeah, that's what I thought. They were like, couldn't have gotten like a, I don't know,
5.
Austin Martin. I was like, not making that much.
5.
5 what?
5 is the number equivalent to
S
to
for
the
sex.
S in the X.
So an X5 looks like sex.
Yep.
Oh, your
So-
theory is
Oh my God.
so right.
Thank
So
you.
ridiculous.
I was just trying to figure out how Chris's F-150 is going to be like sell to the sex and the man, and it's the 5.
Got
Or
it.
like the
Or the
S,
fuck. The F for fuck. F
that's
is
a good one.
F is a like.
F7. Well, that doesn't feel like.
Well, dear listeners, please write in with all of your comments.
And don't forget about the squirrels, please. They're getting really chubby.
I'll respond to every single
Should
one.
we take a 5-minute break?
Yeah, let's do a 5-minute break, then we'll get to calls and we can wrap it up.
Awesome.
Awesome.
This episode of Unqualified is brought to you in part by State Farm. And in honor of their surprisingly great auto insurance rates, I'm going to tell you about a particularly surprising day on set. It takes me a long time to read a script. For almost every line of dialogue, I will stop to figure out why my character would say it, how it fits in the conversation, and how it's going to come out of my mouth. Between the lines, there are larger chunks of text which describe everything else happening in the scene. Maybe what a room looks like, what characters are wearing, and what they're doing. As I often underestimate how long everything in my life takes, I know I can make up some time by reading those larger chunks a little faster. I got the script for Overboard about 6 months before we started production. I read it in my warm living room, wearing comfortably warm clothes, sipping from a warm mug of tea. Somehow, it never occurred to me that when you jump off a boat in the middle of the ocean, the water is surprisingly cold. And it doesn't get any warmer on take 2. Here at Unqualified, we love State Farm because they provide coverage that meets your needs at a surprisingly great rate. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today. This episode of Unqualified is brought to you in part by Osea. Wondering what to gift your friends and family this holiday season? Female founded over 25 years ago by a mother and daughter team, Osea's award-winning cleansers, serums, face moisturizers, and body products give you the results you want. Skin that looks and feels amazing. I recently got to try Osea's new body butter, which, like their now famous Undaria algae body oil, transforms dry skin without being greasy, has the same incredible scent, and leaves your skin soft, smooth, and healthy looking. If my experience is any indication, you can count on your partner giving you a lot of compliments. This holiday season, stock up and share your new favorite clean skincare and body care with your friends and family. Unqualified listeners get 10% off your first order with promo code ANNA at OseaMalibu.com. You'll get free samples with every order, and orders over $50 get free shipping. Gifting is always easier if you start early, so head to OSEAMalibu.com. Use code ANNA.
All right, we're going to call Olga first. Olga is in Brooklyn, and
Olga.
she's not there.
not on.
We're calling her actually. She's 26.
Hello?
Hey, Olga, it's Sim. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing really well. Here's Anna.
Hi, Olga. How are you? You just said that. I do that all the fucking time.
I have to stop asking how they are. I'll let you ask them from now on. Okay?
Hi, Olga. It's Anna. And you're here with...
Hi.
You're here with Kelly Rohrbach from Baywatch, and she's fucking awesome.
Oh, you can't see her.
Hi, Olga. How you doing?
Good, how are you? I'm such a big fan of the podcast. I listen to the show constantly.
Thanks. Well, thanks for talking with us and letting us give you the world's worst advice.
Thanks for having me.
So, Olga, talk to us about this messy situation with your best friend.
Okay, so I've been best friends with this person for almost 10 years. We've been really close ever since college, and even though since college we've lived kind of far apart, I live in New York City, she lives in a small town, and we've still maintained a really close-knit relationship with each other. And she's always wanted to move out of the small town and just kind of go anywhere. And I just finished law school, and I was thinking about where I wanted to go.
Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah,
Thank
very
you.
impressive.
And I was just thinking about where I wanted to practice, and I kind of thought about doing Nashville. And so I brought up the idea to her about possibly moving together to Nashville. And she kind of jumped at the chance, and I then kind of backtracked a little bit, and I said, well, why don't you take a few days, because the process is costly and really time-consuming for me to pass the bar there, so I really need to kind of have a firm answer from you. So she took a few days, and she said, yes, absolutely, let's do this. And then about a month after that, she started kind of seeing casually this guy, and she told him that this is, casual because she's leaving in a few months, and no strings attached kind of thing. So then she, fast forward to now, which is 2 months after they've been seeing each other, I get a text message from her saying that she's fallen madly in love with him and that she wants him to move to Nashville with us.
Like in the same house.
Whoa.
Yeah, to move in with us to Nashville.
She texts you this, huh?
Yeah, she did. So then a little bit of background on her. She's kind of someone that jumps from one relationship to the other without any kind of breaks in between. She's someone that really needs to have that person there for her all the time. And she kind of has those feelings fade for her relatively quickly and breaks up with them once they do. And she's someone that's always maintained, as long as I know her, to not want to get married or have kids, and not to really ever be in a, long time monogamous relationship. She just doesn't see herself as that person. Now she's saying that, she thinks that this guy might be the one, and she wants to see where it goes, which is a little confusing for me. But I told her
let me
that
ask a question. Has she said that
before?
Yes. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Has she said that before?
No. Well, she said she doesn't know if he's the one, but she wants to find out.
But has she said that about other guys before? Like, this guy's the one?
She hasn't said those exact words, but she usually falls pretty hard pretty quickly for guys. And then kind of the feelings fade pretty quickly as well. And so I told her I wasn't really comfortable with having this guy move in with us because I don't really know him at all, and she's had some sketchy relationships in the past, and I just didn't want to be in the middle of that. So then she basically said that, well, then I want to move in with him and not with you, and I'll move to Nashville with him.
So was she mad when she said this? Were her feelings hurt? Because it seems to me like what you said was completely reasonable.
Yeah, completely.
Right. I think she was disappointed. And because of that, she decided that she wants to move in with him, and she doesn't want to move with me. I think it was more for her, he's coming either way, and either I'm going to be living with them or not. So that kind of created a bit of a rift in our relationship. So we haven't really spoken since then. And I guess I have a two-part question for you guys. The first part is kind of like, I'm hoping this isn't like the end of our friendship. And I told her, I do feel like she kind of broke my trust in her a little bit after this, because I really, was counting on her emotionally and a little bit financially so that we would move in together. And so I don't really know where to go from here. We're kind of at an impasse. And the second part of the question is whether or not if she changes her mind and wants to come with me in a couple of months, which is pretty likely scenario, that it's going to fizzle out, what to do with that scenario.
Why do you think that?
I just kind of know how she goes through relationships, and it tends to be something where, she falls pretty hard at first, and then it kind of, because of how she is, she kind of gets bored of them, and she tends to date down a little bit, if that makes sense. Like, she kind of dates people who aren't all that, maybe intellectually compatible or personality-wise compatible towards her, and she, kind of gets bored of them and kind of wants to leave.
And have you met this new guy at all? You haven't met him, have you?
I met him for a couple of hours at a party at the very beginning of when they started kind of hanging out, and I really didn't he's not much of a talker, so I really didn't get much of a sense from him of who he is as a person.
Well, it sounds, the basic advice I would give, just the general blanket advice, would be move exactly where you want to and live by yourself if you can, to save this friendship, I think, because even though you're best friends, you might be at very different places in your life right now, and living together might not work at all. She really wants you to like this guy, and her feelings are hurt right now because you're very reasonably, don't get me wrong, sort of rejecting this idea of you all three moving in together, which is crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy for her to move in with this guy right now, and it would be crazy for the three of you to move in together too. So your position is completely correct and reasonable, but from her perspective, I bet that she really wants your approval. She wants you to feel like her judgment is good. And she wants you to like this guy, because that means that she clearly respects your opinion. That means if you validate the relationship, then therefore she's making the right choice, which who knows if she is or not. I don't think any of us have enough information on that part. But overall, I think that you should talk to her and maybe let her know that it bummed you out. I wouldn't be too heavy-handed with it, but I think you can tell her, like, hey, just to clear the air, I love you so much. It was really disappointing to me that we had talked about these plans and I was excited, but I think it's probably best if we don't move in together right now. But I love you, or that would be my advice. Kelly, do you have any? Sorry, I totally dominated.
No, not at all. Are you moving to Nashville regardless, Olga?
Yeah, I kind of thought of that through. Of course, the prospect was a little scarier doing it by myself, but I'm pretty committed to that decision. I guess what I'm kind of concerned with is if she decides to come, that she wants to come with me. Basically, I know her as a person, and I know that if she's not coming with me, that she won't come at all. So it's like I'm kind of
basically like it's you moving to
basically
Nashville.
denying her the option of going.
Right.
Here's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about one thing. I'm worried about if they do fizzle out and they do end up breaking up, your friend and this guy, and you do decide to take her back and as a friend, and you guys decide to move in together. What happens when she meets a new guy in Nashville, and then all of a sudden that could create? I don't know if she's the right roommate. I don't know if she's the right roommate for you.
And why is your friend, not to point out her flaws, but but this is too early to be moving in with anybody. Like,
well, that's what I thought, and that was kind of my point to her, which is what like kind of hurt, that she kind of flat out just disagreed with me. It was like I told her, I'm like, I'm not saying don't date him. By all means, continue to date him and maybe do long distance, or if he really wants to come to Nashville, maybe have him get his own place, because he shouldn't be moving just for you anyway at this point in the relationship. And she just wasn't having it.
She's an incredibly impulsive person, and that those aren't the best roommates.
And codependent, you know, like, you know, she and that's like, I mean, listen, I've been in one relationship after another and done really impulsive things like move in with people way too soon. But I think that I think the bigger thing though is she's looking for your approval. And you guys have this imbalance in your relationship right now where, you know, in all relationships, never hover at 50-50. It's never 50-50. It should be around 60-40 fluctuating. But that's like healthy barometer in my opinion. But you're more powerful right now in the friendship. And she is looking for you to give your seal of approval on this relationship, and her feelings are hurt that you haven't. And I don't think you should, but I think you should know that that's probably where she's coming from. So when you talk to her and tell her all this stuff, just remember to be gentle with that when you talk about this area. But I think if you're great friends, I think you can tell her most of this stuff. I don't think she'll hear the idea that, you know, she tends to bounce from relationship to relationship. I don't know if you have to go there, but
well, she knows this about herself. She knows that she is a bit codependent. She's kind of acknowledged that about herself.
But did she understand where you were coming from when you were like, I'm not comfortable moving in with a guy that I don't know at all and playing third wheel when I'm trying to make a new life for myself?
She said that's fair, but you know, at the same time, she also said, you know, then I'm moving in with him, and I guess I'm also a little bit like taken aback by that, and just not, you know, really sure where to go from there.
Does she have a stable job?
She does have a stable job, but she's been wanting to leave it for a long time now.
And you just graduated from law school.
Right.
So
well, my plan was to, you know, our plan was that I would, you know, find a job after I took the bar, and then we would move after I found the job. And, you know, while she's looking for the job, I would maybe cover the rent for a couple of months.
I think you got to tell her that this has been disappointing, and it's left you feeling really confused about some of, you know, the major decision making in your life, and try to talk it out without necessary. But here's the bigger thing too is, I know financially it might be really tough right now, but I think that I think a roommate situation is not a great idea between you guys, because it sounds like you sound very independent and stable, and she sounds like she's in a bit more of like a dramatic, whirlwindy place in her life, and she will bring that into the house in whatever capacity, and be maybe resentful towards you if you don't always indulge it. So I just think, for the sake of your friendship, moving in at this stage is that doesn't mean in a few months, if she finds herself at a happier job, you know, or whatever, or single, or it doesn't necessarily mean that you guys can never move in together. But with the circumstances as they are right now, if you can afford it, live independently, or find
another roommate.
Find another roommate,
yeah.
And have an interesting adventure with somebody who, and the boundaries, when you find a stranger as a roommate, the boundaries can be much more clear.
Yes.
I guess I'm just concerned with, you know, in the likely scenario that this does kind of fizzle out for her, if I tell her that she can't move in with me, then I'm kind of denying her that, you know,
if it does
to move at all.
If it does fizzle out, then you can reassess. But I don't think you can necessarily count on that right now. I mean, you're probably right, but I don't think it's anything you can bank on. You have to sort of take the circumstances just as they are right now. And you can't really predict, because who knows? She could end up pregnant next week, and like they're planning their wedding. And you're the bridesmaid.
Before we say bye, you want to give her some final advice?
I hope I helped Olga. I think that you can be vocal with her about this, and
Olga knows what to do, but she just needed some reassurance.
Yeah,
and she got it right.
I really think.
Yeah.
I truly think of the roommate situation, though, in general, is not great for your friendship.
I completely agree with Anna, because nothing ruins a friendship like living together when it's not right.
Well, we
It's
did
such
live
a bummer.
together, but I mean,
So
it was
true.
a while back.
Okay. How did that go?
Oh, we lived together in college. It went. I mean, it went great, but of course, this was a while ago, so we're at different places in our lives now. So I get what you're saying.
And even if you guys do move together, and then she starts dating some dude, and what if you don't care for him and he's over at the house all the time?
That's what I'm worried about. I think
And-
that type of personality.
Yeah. And then she'll be
And
mad
my
at you.
concern is
Right.
that she might just like end up bailing again.
She doesn't sound like somebody you can count on for certain things that you need right now. She does not sound like that pillar in your life right now, because she's doing her thing. God, listen to me. I sound so fucking old sometimes. I make myself cringe. Oh, I'm sorry, everybody. I'm gonna go home.
Right.
Olga, did that help at all? I don't know.
It did. I think Sim's right. I kind of had a feeling, but I really needed to bounce it off a neutral party, and just someone who's pretty unbiased.
Because the reason why I think that you have more power in the relationship is how she reacted, which was a little bit immature, and how she told you about the idea, over text.
Yeah.
Like the dialogue on her end has not been incredibly mature, and so she looks up to you, and so I think she has to you guys have to sort of recalibrate the balance somehow in your friendship a bit.
Olga, thank you so much for hanging out with us
Olga,
tonight.
I love you,
Thank you,
and
guys.
congratulations. You should be so fucking proud of yourself.
Go
That
get it,
is
girl.
amazing.
Have fun in Nashville.
Yeah. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
We have one more call.
Roommates.
Tough. Yeah.
Roommates. But I got the feeling that what worried me a little bit, I felt like, was that Olga wasn't going to be in a position where she would be very open necessarily. I mean, I should have told her this. Olga, I'm sorry.
Well, tell her this now.
Well, just the idea that she's in a place where maybe she's not super open and receptive to receiving her friends' boyfriends, or the guys that she's dating.
Also, she's like starting a new chapter in her life, and you kind of want it to be a clean slate. And there's nothing worse when you don't like your home environment, or even if you do like your roommate's significant other. There's something about having somebody in the house all the time that you just sort of feel
She'll
you
feel
don't have your
comfortable doing that.
space.
Yeah.
It just-
Otherwise,
yeah.
she's going to be alone, and she needed some comfort. She needed a friend there with her while she's on this new journey. And I think the best thing for her is to do this alone. I really do.
I do too.
It's scary.
But it
moving
is-
to a
It's scary.
city.
Of course it's scary.
It's very
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
It's lonely.
All right, we have one more
But it
call.
can be exciting.
All right, we're going to call Haley, and Haley is in New York, and she's 24.
I love that we're using Skype, so old school.
Yes, very low budget here.
3 years
This is-
ago.
this is our fancy equipment.
Skype.
Hello.
Hi, Haley, it's Sim.
Hi.
Hi, Haley. It's Anna. How are you?
I was waiting. I wasn't going to say how are you.
Really, really good. We've got Kelly Rohrbach here, and
Hi,
she's
how you
amazing.
doing? Nice to meet you, Haley.
And what's happening? What are you doing? Are you in the bathtub?
Okay.
Yeah, where are you on? You're not on speakerphone, are you?
So echoey, should I not be?
Yeah, can you go to a different room?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you don't want to upset Sim.
Oh, I'm not upset.
It sounded like
Did I? It did sound a little mean, right? I didn't mean it to. I didn't mean.
urgent.
I know.
No, it's
I know.
totally fine.
I'm
Just
sorry.
just a hint of panic.
Okay.
That's all.
That's true. It sounds much better now.
No,
Thanks,
no, it's fine.
Haley. So, Haley, you discovered something about your boyfriend. Tell us a little bit more.
I did. Okay, so I mean, like, to start off with, imagine like a really great relationship otherwise. And then, so me and my boyfriend have a long distance relationship. And so in the beginning of the relationship, we were having issues of, like not being able to be with each other every day. So we've kind of, had discussions and decided like to tell each other a lot of details about our lives so that we kind of feel included in each other's lives, even though we aren't physically there. So I naturally am a person who just talks about everything and anything and like just gives a lot of extra details. And my boyfriend initially wasn't like that, but he's gotten much better at it to the point where I feel like really good about like knowing what's going on in his life, right? But then I noticed that every single time that I happen to look at his phone or his like MacBook or whatever it is, and I see who he's like texting, it's always this one girl. And I have literally never heard him talk about her ever. And that's weird because I pretty much know the names of all of his friends and he has never brought her up. And that baffles me because it's definitely not that he's cheating on me with her. I'm like 100% sure of that.
How are you 100% sure?
Oh my God.
I know. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Ailey.
So like the way that we got together was that we were working on a project for his work together. So I know a lot of his coworkers and his coworkers are like his main friend group. And they like to post on like social media a lot. So anytime they do something, like it's always on Instagram or whatever. So through that, like I know for a fact that he's never lying about like where he is, and just in general, like he's a very trustworthy person and like a really good person. And I know that like everybody probably thinks that about whoever they're dating, hopefully. But like it's like legitimately, he's a really, really good guy, and would never cheat on me or anybody for that matter. So that is like 100%. He's not cheating on me with her, except it's just baffling. Like, then why would he never bring up this person? I literally thought
Did you bring it up to him?
Name.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you ask him? Like,
did. So after we've been together like roughly a year, and finally the last time we were together, I like brought it up with him. I was like, I think it's weird that you've never mentioned to me like your best friend's name ever. And he goes, who? And I just like stared at him, and he tells me like his best friend's name. I'm like, no, not her. And he's just like, is it blank? And blank was the girl's name. Let's call her, I don't know, Brianna. And I'm like, yeah. And he just got super defensive. He's like, she's my friend. What? I'm not allowed to have friends? Which is like a bad sign when somebody gets defensive when you bring up something instead of like just explaining. And he's like, why are you calling her my best friend? And I go, you're literally texting her every single day that we're together. And if you tell me that you
by
don't
just,
normally
like,
talk,
giving the phone the side eye?
well, no, I just like see. I'm really not like trying to look, but like it just pops up because like we'd be like on his computer together, or like we'd be looking at something on like his Instagram together, or something like where we're looking at the screen together, where he's like showing me something, where I'm asking to see something related to his text, and it just comes up. And even in the past, he's like sent me screenshots of like, you know how people send screenshots of conversations with friends? He's done that, and on the side
to prove
it like
to you
shows
that they are friends.
No. It wasn't her. It was like him texting like Tom or something. I don't know. And then it would be from his MacBook. So on the MacBook, if you show your like iMessaging and take a screenshot of it, on the side it shows you like who you've been texting.
Oh yeah.
You guys.
Right. I know what
Yeah,
you're talking
and
about.
she was at like the top of the list. Like, and he's done this maybe twice, like on separate occasions.
You never read any of the texts, right? Have you read any of the texts?
No, and I've been on his iPad also, and like he gets iMessages through his iPad, but I've never even looked at it because I'm like,
I feel so good. Okay, he simply said she's a friend. What? I'm not allowed to have friends, and then the conversation ended, and you didn't press him at all on like, can you tell me any more about her? And he just like shut down.
well, he basically then I was like, well, who is she? And he was just like, well, she's just someone I used to work with. And I go, like, why are you talking to her every day without like ever mentioning who she is? Because he tells me about everyone else that he like interacts with. I tell him about everyone that I interact with. And he just goes, I don't talk to her every day. And I'm like, that's weird then, because every day that you're with me, you are talking to her. So, like, what, you spontaneously start talking to her every day when we're together, but then when you go home, like, you don't? That doesn't make any sense.
What did he respond to?
He just, like, didn't say anything. He was just, like, I think just kind of pissed off that I was, like, bringing this up. And he just goes, well, you just sound accusatory. And I'm like, well, yeah, because I am. Like...
Haley, I don't. Okay, and what about this? What about the? So he's 34, right?
No, he's 30.
He's 30. Okay, and how? And he has another best friend that's a woman.
Yeah, he's just like been the type of person who's like friends with a lot of like girls as well as guys, which I like don't have an issue with because I'm best friends with like guys as well. So,
okay, I think you got. I don't like this dude. I don't like how he's making you feel with this.
You don't like his response.
I don't like.
You don't know if you like the. I mean, you might like the guy. You don't like his response.
This is a massive red flag for me. Whether he's cheating or not, the point is almost moot. Like, I think this is he's behaving incredibly disrespectfully to Haley.
Absolutely, of course. He had no response.
He had no. That's why I'm saying this. This isn't like, oh, he leaves his towels on the bathroom floor. Red flag. This is like, this is not a very considerate person. Red flag. Like this. I don't, and it taps into stuff that I've gone through, Haley. So maybe that's why I feel so passionately about it. But I think that this is a really strong indicator of future behavior. Whether he's cheating or not, I mean, I'm not convinced that he's 100% not. For whatever reason, what he's doing is hurting your feelings, and he knows that it's hurting your feelings.
It's completely inappropriate. It's 100% inappropriate.
And I always think it's really hard to I think conversations that are had calmly accomplish more, and I think it's hard to go to someone calmly and say like, hey, this is how I'm feeling. My feelings are feeling hurt right now about this Brianna girl. Like, I don't really understand what's going on there. Can you walk me through it? If you can go to him in a really calm way and ask him those questions, like, I'm not a jealous person. I want you to have friends. We are long distance. I understand that, you know, we're going to have people in our lives, but can you walk me through your guys' relationship and
make me feel comfortable about it?
Yeah, exactly. And can I meet her? Or, I mean, just be like, walk me through it. Make me feel like it's okay. And if he does get defensive of like, why are you so crazy about this? Like, that's kind of, I don't know. For me, when people get defensive, it's like, it's
right.
If she's a friend, you guys should all hang out together. Why don't you guys go grab drinks together? The three of you.
Well, he doesn't hang out with her either. That's the thing. Like, they don't hang out is the thing that I'm like even more confused about, because I'm just like, oh my God, this is suspicious. No, I just am like 100, because most of the time after work, like, he's hanging out with me, like on FaceTime or something, or like he's talking to me or whatever it is.
And then afterwards, you don't know what's happening after you guys end your FaceTime conversation.
Well, he's clearly having conversation. You know, she's not going to be texting somebody that much. She's not texting her back. But I think that you do exactly kind of what Kelly said, and just say, listen, the last time we talked about this, I just left feeling pretty uncomfortable about the whole thing, and I really want to feel better about it. And, you know, I don't want to put you on the defense. And like, just like Kelly said, I want you to have female friends. I want you to have friends, but I don't understand this situation, and help me.
Yeah, and I mean, I would love to do that, except I think part of the problem is also the fact that we are long distance, so we see each other maybe once every month or so. And I'm actually going out to visit him next week. And I guess I really can't tell whether I should, like, bring this up over, like, the phone or when I see him, just because I feel like because we're long distance, I don't really want to, like, spend any time, like, causing issues.
But shouldn't that be your answer right there? Like, if it's going to be a fight, that means it's a...
Why are you preparing for a fight?
Right.
It should just be a conversation.
And if it is a fight, doesn't that sort of indict him a little bit?
Right.
Totally. Like,
he has to be able to have a mature conversation about this. And if he can't, that's a huge red flag.
Exactly, Haley. If he can't, then that means he may not be fucking her, but there's something
else is going on, right? Or he wants to fuck her.
Like, maybe she's in a different state. You know what I mean? Maybe he's having.
No, they live quite close.
How do you know any information about her? Like, it seems like from
Because
your
I
conversation,
asked
she didn't give
her,
you
I
any.
did ask him that, like, when they asked, like, who she was, and he was like, she's someone I used to work with, like, years ago, which, by the way, they, like, worked together years ago. And she lives, and I asked, like, where does she live? Because I was wondering that. I'm like, does she live far away? Like, is that why he doesn't hang out with her? No, but they live about, like,
By the way, you don't know that they're not hanging out. You don't know that.
They must have been like maybe in his early 20s, maybe they worked at a restaurant together. They dated. That's my feeling.
well, it
Probably.
doesn't make sense that they would have dated because I asked, like, how old she was. And so he's 30, I'm 24. And I asked how old she was, and he was like, she must be around, like, your age. So they worked together years ago, so they couldn't possibly have dated.
Why don't you say all these things? It feels like if you, I always find if you're scared to say something or you feel like I feel icky about saying something, that that's sort of like that's sort of your answer right there.
I don't like how much power he's wielding over you with this. I really don't. And he's clearly he's cultivating that, and I don't like what that brings in a person. I don't like that he's manipulative. I don't like that's a really hard thing to break in a person. In my experience, it just intensifies as people get older, and he's getting some subconscious kick out of you being jealous. So try not to feed into that. Try to be calm and rational, just like
Good
Kelly
point,
suggested.
by the way. Huge point. You're right.
Yeah, you can't throw him any bone on this one. Like you can't.
Yeah.
He can't accuse you of being immature. If you're coming to the table, calmly and very reasonably. There's nothing. If you say to him, "This made me uncomfortable. Will you help me with this?" There's nothing he can say. He can't freak out at you and be like, "God, you're so fucking jealous. What the fuck is this about again?" If he does,
Yeah, that like
dude,
100%. He's
fucking-
with her. Yeah. They like raise their voice and scream.
Absolutely.
It means they did it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, okay, and thank you for my answer.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
yeah.
We have to say bye to Haley.
Haley, yeah. So I would do this before you see him. That's my advice. I would do it.
Okay.
I would do it over the phone, and let us know.
Yeah, tell me.
I'm sorry.
Email me after and let me know what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
email Sim.
I love
Thank you so
you.
much. This
Thank
is
you
really
so
great.
much.
I love you,
Good luck.
Anna. Oh my gosh.
I love
Thank you.
Haley.
Have a good night.
Good night. Kelly, thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you guys
That
for
was
having me.
amazing.
This is my
That
first
was so
podcast.
much- Did you have fun?
Podcasts are amazing.
Isn't
You
it
get to sit with your
fun?
shoes
It was
off.
fun.
I'm like
I
sitting
know.
cross-legged in
Yeah.
a chair, my gut hanging out. I'm like, all right.
Eating a slice of pizza?
Yeah, so I
know.
Yes.
This has been so tempting. I've had half a slice of pizza, but I was like, I can't eat it because they'll hear the chewing on the thing. But I've been like staring at it for like, the past 20 minutes.
Kelly, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
again.
This was so
And I
much
can't wait to
fun.
see
Yeah.
I love the idea of the call-in. It's
really
such
cool,
a great
isn't it?
idea. Yeah.
And it's I get a lot of reward out of it.
I bet you're really good at it. You're really calm.
Thanks. I did feel like I got a little not emotional, but with that last one, I hope I wasn't too like.
Well, you
"He's a
tapped into
fucking
you.
dick. But that is
It's
how
something-
that
Right.
is a bad indicator of like future behavior. That the fact that he.
I agree.
I hate that. There's nothing worse than like if you suspect someone's like fooling around and then they shame you about it, like and they like
Totally.
bully
You're
you
the
about
crazy
it, and
one.
you're like,
Right.
they're like, I can't take this. You're just, and we're like, whoa, let's just back up. Everyone, calm down. Like you're the one that's getting crazy.
I got that so many times. Like you're the crazy person. You're the crazy, and then you start to internalize it.
Right,
It feels
exactly.
horrible.
And then you
find out they were
yourself-
fucking somebody else.
and you're like, yeah,
No,
totally.
no,
It-
that's not a ladies listening. That's not a response. Do not accept that as a response. You can't.
Okay. Good night, everybody. We love
May
you.
25th,
Thank you.
Baywatch.
Oh yes, please go see. Thank you.
Oh, fuck you, Sim.
Oh, all right, now you got it.